he hasn't looked like a guy coming off knee surgery since like OTAs. All training camp, he's looked great. He's put in a ton of work. I kind of seen the entire journey from a really cool vantage point, and I was just proud of him. Proud of how he kind of endured through everything. A lot of things he couldn't control throughout this, and he just continued to battle each and every day, focus on getting better each and every day, and he did that.
When he took off a couple times with his feet, and we all gasped.
Yeah.
Did you guys? You're like, oh, we knew that wasn't happening.
No. I mean, I think everyone kind of expected that from him. He's said many times he's not going to change his playing style. I thought he didn't really take any hits in the open field. He kind of avoided it, even though he was scrambling. He got out of bounds a few times. But we need that too. We need that to win football games. And the main goal is to win football games in this city, for this city. And we need him to do that on 3rd and 5 when there's pressure in his face, and he's kind of got to extend the play. So I thought he played great.
What was the mood in that huddle like before the last scoring drive, that touchdown drive?
Yeah, very positive. Obviously, we faced a lot of adversity. I think we were 2nd and 30 at one point. Had a 4th down play in there, so just continued to stay positive. I think the thing about this team that continually sticks out is just the resiliency of this team, the fight of this team. No matter what we're going through, no matter what the score is, we're going to play all 60 minutes and longer if needed.
You talk about the resiliency. It's been a really long time since you guys have had to rebound from a loss. So how does it feel?
Feels good. I mean, last week we didn't play ourselves. We didn't play our best football on both sides of the ball. And I thought to come out here under elements, I mean, we haven't played in a rain game in a long time. And it was continuous at times, especially in the middle of the game. And just to overcome all the adversity that we faced, coming down, coming from behind, and battling against a really well-coached team. It was a very good win for us.
Dallas had a big game, had that touchdown. What can that do for him and his confidence?
Yeah, I mean, it's big. We need him to be a player for us. His role will continue to evolve and hopefully increase. And we need him. We need him to go out there and contribute each and every week in the run game and in the pass game. And this is definitely a great step for him. Happy for him. First touchdown at home. I'm sure he's pumped.
All the talk about Carson, the running game without Jay, without Darren.
Yeah.
It looked like it had a really great day for Corey Wendell. How important was that today?
I mean, those guys are huge. I mean, we knew the type of players they are. That's why no one was really fretting too much. Obviously, we lost 2 great players today. Those guys didn't play, like you said. But Corey and Wendell, those are guys that are really good football players. We got a lot of confidence in those guys. Wendell hits the hole, probably the hardest on the team. He's really explosive back, and Corey's just a really, really good football player. So we have all the confidence in the world in those guys, and at all 11 positions. If one guy goes down, this team wasn't built around one guy, as we saw last year. The whole mindset, the next man up mindset, you don't want to experience that this early. But at that position, I thought everyone stepped up.
You talk about, last week you mentioned that Carson Wentz didn't need to be Superman, he just needed to be himself. But
Yeah.
what can a game like this do for his confidence and the room he still has to grow in the rest of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like you said, the biggest point is that there's room to grow for all of us. I mean, if we score touchdowns in the red zone today, we're not worried about trying to get a 4th down stop at the end of the game. So there's definitely room for improvement, but at the same time, we're happy that we got up here with the W. And Carson's ability to lead the offense and control the game is probably second to none with any guy I've ever played with.
Coming back from the surgery, practice and getting back out on the field, and then his leadership that he brought to the huddle as well. I mean, how impressive is it, everything that he's gone through to have done what he did today?
I mean, he's just so consistent. I think that's the thing that stood out. He was never too high, never too low throughout the entire process. And when you're dealing with an injury of that severity, it's going to be grueling at times. And Carson was even-keeled throughout the entire thing. He was very focused on just improving each and every day, giving all the Lord everything he had. And I think that perspective allowed him to just remain so calm and collected throughout the entire game and throughout this entire process.
What happened on the? I think it was something like 14 receptions between you and Dallas today.
Yeah.
I mean, what does his evolution do for your position and the things you guys can do on offense?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. The ability to move me around is probably something that we haven't really had in the past couple of years. I pretty much played in the same spot for the previous 2 years that Doug's been here. And so the ability to kind of get me in different positions and a defense doesn't know where I'm going to be pre-snap could be huge for us and huge for the offense, and hopefully I can I can make plays when my number's called. But we got to be better in the red zone. That's kind of the one key takeaway from an offensive perspective, I thought. The one area we have to be better is in the red zone. We can't settle for field goals. Obviously, we got a really good kicker, but we don't want him working too hard.
Last one for me, I'm sorry. Is
Yeah.
it more fun for you to be able to move around like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it challenges you. You see the defense a little differently the more you move around. So I do like it a lot.
Game-winning drive, no problem. 2nd to 26, and Carson, a few other players are saying that he spoke up and started kind of talking to you guys and had a little message. Do you recall?
I mean, it was just a message of positivity. Like, don't worry, don't get too anxious about it. Just go out there and do your job. And he called the play. I kind of knew that I was going to be the guy getting the ball. The guy was all over me at the time at the holding, and the ref made the right call. I was happy that Carson stood on me because some of those times when the ball doesn't come to you, they don't call it. So it was a really good play by Carson, just throwing the ball when he needed to, and just the message of positivity that no matter what we're facing, no matter what adversity we're facing, we're going to get the job done.
How about that third down in the end zone earlier in the game? Did you think he got there early?
I'll have to see it on film. I don't know exactly. Carson was pretty adamant about it. He had obviously a really good view, but at the same time, I mean, the play shouldn't have been close in my eyes. We got to be better. I got to be better, and we will.
Did he seem the same? Carson seemed the same to you as last year, or was there a little bit of rust? I mean, could you kind of tell any kind of difference?
No, he looked the same old Carson, honestly. He's looked like that all training camp. I'm not surprised by the way he came out today and executed. Obviously, the weather was different than probably we faced. Probably the most rain I've played in a long time here. And so, same old Carson. Obviously, it's not easy playing under those conditions at times as a skill position, as a quarterback. But we executed to the best of our abilities, and we got to win.
Zach, what did Dallas show you today?
Yeah, just the ability to kind of stay focused on the goal. Obviously, last week he didn't play a lot, and just maintain the focus of getting better each and every week, and not getting too down of not playing. I mean, that's kind of how the season is when you're young. I was in that role at times. Some weeks you play a lot, some weeks you don't play as much. Luckily, in this offense, we can run 2 tight ends, whereas in the past when I was a rookie, it was pretty much 1 tight end. So we need him to develop. I mean, that's the bottom line. We need him to have a role. He's a really good football player, and it helps us.
How much does this offense, I mean, I'm not saying it needs Alshon, but how much better will it be once he gets back, especially with stretching the field and the outside?
Hey, man, Alshon is a dominant player. Defenses have to respect him. Defenses play more too high because they want to help the corners against him because he's so big and so strong on the outside. And it just allows us to move people around more. Defenses aren't going to be able to focus on Nelly, myself, Dallas after today. They got to be there and account for Alshon because he's a really good football player. But at the same time, we got a lot of good football players. But it's going to be nice when he's back because there's many, many weapons.
It looked like Carson was willing to put his body in harm's way, especially on that dive for the first down. So
Yeah.
What did that play say about his competitiveness?
Yeah, same old Carson. I mean, that's the guy I expected. I didn't expect him to come out here and freaking just go through the motions when he was scrambling. I thought the good thing is that he didn't really take any shots. He seemed to get down and not put his body in harm's way. Like even on that play, he was diving and no one was around him. And so he wasn't going to take a shot. But at the same time, I mean, we need that from a quarterback because it's not going to be perfect all the time. The pocket's not going to be perfect. The routes aren't going to be perfect. And when you play with a quarterback that can extend plays like he can, it's very beneficial for our offense.